Chances are, you're scrolling this on a smartphone, or maybe your garage house is an electric vehicle. These tools define the modern era, but behind the screens and engines lies something often overlooked, rare, valuable minerals pulled from deep within the earth for decades. The story has remained the same. Natural riches extracted from Africa, sent abroad to power the world, while the countries of origin remain poor, their landscapes scarred, and their economies dependent on unstable markets. The wealth flowed outward, building cities in the west and the east, while African nations were left behind. But something is shifting, and it's happening right now in Ghana, a country long celebrated for its gold and cocoa. Ghana may be on the brink of rewriting its own future. This time, it's not just about discovering valuable resources, it's about keeping the wealth at home. Recent breakthroughs have revealed a treasure trove of critical minerals, and with them, a bold new economic vision. This isn't just another mining story. It's a strategic move that could disrupt global markets, challenge powerful nations, and give Ghana a once-in-a-generation chance to control its destiny. For much of its history, Ghana's economy danced to the rhythm of gold prices. As Africa's top gold producer, it became synonymous with the precious metal. But that's no longer the full picture. In late 2024, a group of scientists from Ghana's University of Mines and Technology in partnership with South Africa's University of Johannesburg, made a game-changing announcement. While conducting geological surveys in southern Ghana's Kibwin Belt, they uncovered vast quantities of tantalum, a highly valuable and strategic metal crucial to modern electronics. Tantalum may not be a household name, but it's indispensable. This corrosion-resistant, heat-proof metal is used to make high-performance capacitors, the tiny components inside smartphones, laptops, aerospace tech, and even medical equipment. It's also vital in building clean energy infrastructure like solar panels and wind turbines. The discovery at the Biwad's Mount Code site revealed tantalum-rich rock formations with immense economic promise. The lead researcher, Dr. Emmanuel Danoba Sankari, emphasized the potential to not only power Ghana's future economy, but to also contribute to the global green energy transition. But that wasn't the only surprise. In Ghana's Odi region, hundreds of kilometers away, a government-backed exploration team was searching for iron ore as part of an industrial expansion strategy. Instead, they struck something even more valuable: nickel. Tests showed high-grade concentrations of the metal in the Jamaru mountain range. In the world of electric vehicles, nickel is king. It's the metal that determines how powerful and long-lasting a lithium-ion battery can be. As the EV industry booms, demand for nickel has skyrocketed. What's even more impressive is Ghana's response. Instead of rushing into deals, officials are taking a deliberate approach. William Okothwaite, head of Ghana's Integrated Iron and Steel Development Corporation GISTIC, made it clear that they won't allow foreign firms to grab minerals under the radar. Every sample, every site, every ounce of potential is being thoroughly analyzed before any contracts are signed. This level of control is a major departure from past practices, and it signals a strategic evolution. Together, the discoveries of tantalum and nickel mark a turning point. Ghana is no longer just digging up gold. It's stepping into the global arena of critical minerals, essential for both the digital and green revolutions. Experts believe the total value of these resources could reach into the trillions. But more importantly, this wealth could fuel a new era of self-determined development, if managed wisely. To understand the magnitude of what's unfolding, you have to look at the past. For too long, Africa's resources have enriched everyone. But Africa itself, raw materials like bauxite and manganese have been mined in Ghana, only to be shipped overseas and transformed into valuable industrial products elsewhere. Jobs, technology, and profits went with them. The countries doing the mining stayed stuck in the first link of the chain, the least profitable one. Ghana's gold industry is a prime example. Despite its dominance in gold production, most of the profits historically flowed outward. A 2019 study showed that out of over $5 billion in gold mined between 1990 and 2002, the Ghanaian government received less than 2% in return. While today's numbers are better, the legacy of exploitation still casts a long shadow. Unregulated small-scale mining, known locally as galamsey, has also wreaked havoc, damaging the environment and bleeding billions out of the economy through informal exports. This has created a troubling paradox: a resource-rich nation struggling with inflation, unemployment, and a volatile currency. Forests have been cleared, rivers poisoned by mercury, and precious tax revenues lost. For many Ghanaians, watching their country's treasures disappear with little to show for, it has been a painful reality. But that reality is now being challenged. The shift we're witnessing is about more than minerals. It's about sovereignty. The Ghanaian government, backed by a population eager for change, is embracing a new economic philosophy known as resource nationalism. The principle is simple: keep more of the value at home. Instead of exporting raw materials and importing finished products, Ghana is planning to develop its own processing industries. That means more jobs, more expertise, and a greater share of the profits staying within its borders. This doesn't mean isolation. It means negotiation on new terms. Ghana is still open to partnerships, but not at the cost of its future. The old model of extraction is being replaced by one of transformation. Tantalum and nickel may have kicked off this new era, but the real treasure is the opportunity to build an economy that no longer depends on the mercy of foreign markets. In early 2025, the government made its boldest move yet by directly targeting the gold sector. By restructuring licensing, cracking down on illegal exports, and introducing new policies for value-added refining within the country, Ghana is rewriting the rules. It's a message to the world. Ghana is done being a quarry. It's ready to become a manufacturer, a supplier, a power player in the global economy. The discoveries buried beneath Ghana's soil are impressive, but what's even more remarkable is the determination to change the story. For too long, Africa's wealth has been everyone else's opportunity. Now, Ghana is betting on itself, and the world is watching. In a major move to reclaim control over its resources, the government of Ghana has enacted a groundbreaking law known as the Ghana Gold Board Act. This law has created a brand new agency, the Ghana Gold Board, which has been granted full authority over gold trading in the country. Starting from May 1, 2025, all foreign entities have been banned from participating in local gold trade. Existing licenses held by foreign gold traders were immediately canceled. In one bold stroke, Ghana has dismantled the old gold trade system that benefited outsiders more than the country itself. For under this new law, the Ghana Gold Board becomes the sole authorized buyer of gold from the small-scale mining sector, a sector that has historically been exploited and poorly regulated. Foreign buyers can no longer travel directly to mining towns to strike personal deals. Instead, they must go through the Gold Board and purchase at a state-regulated price, determined using international market rates. This shift aims to prevent illegal smuggling, increase government revenue, and stabilize the national currency by keeping tighter control over gold exports. But this move is about much more than gold. It represents a new economic direction. Ghana's leadership is taking deliberate steps to make sure that all new mineral discoveries, like tantalum and nickel, are handled carefully, not rushed into the hands of outside corporations. The agency responsible for developing Ghana's iron and steel sector, GEISTIC, is demanding full geological reports before entering negotiations with potential investors. This ensures that Ghana walks into every deal with clear knowledge of what's underground and holds all the negotiating power. Even more ambitious is Ghana's plan to develop domestic processing industries. Instead of simply exporting raw materials like tantalum and nickel, the country is working on building the factories and infrastructure needed to process these minerals locally. For instance, why send out raw nickel ore when you can process it into nickel sulfate, a much more valuable product used in electric vehicle batteries? Why export tantalum concentrate when the country can manufacture capacitors right at home? Vital components used in smartphones, laptops, and military equipment. This strategic thinking extends beyond just tantalum and nickel. The government is also considering restrictions on raw lithium exports, encouraging investment in local battery production instead. There are even plans for an integrated iron and Steel sector, using domestic ore to build Ghana's own infrastructure and possibly become a supplier for the broader West African region. Talk of banning raw bauxite exports is also gaining ground, with the goal of turning Ghana into a producer of aluminum, not just an exporter of ore. This is not about isolating the country from global markets. It's about refusing to follow the outdated model where foreign companies control everything, from extraction to export. While African nations receive scraps, Ghana is still welcoming investors, but on its own terms. These new rules promote joint ventures, require technology sharing, insist on local manufacturing, and ensure that a fair share of the profits remains in the country. This is Ghana claiming its seat at the global economic table, not as a supplier of raw materials, but as a partner in value creation. What's happening in Ghana is part of a broader shift sweeping across Africa. More and more nations are beginning to push back against systems that extract wealth and leave behind poverty and pollution. Ghana's bold reforms are not happening in a vacuum. They are being watched closely by other mineral-rich nations, such as the Democratic Republic of Congo and Zambia. These countries are facing similar questions. Can resource-rich African nations finally take control of their destinies? Ghana's actions are also rattling global supply chains. Tech giants and automakers in the West and in China have long relied on easy access to cheap raw materials from Africa. Now, those companies may face stricter regulations, higher prices, and tougher negotiations. If they want continued access to these essential materials, they may have no choice but to invest directly in Ghana, build local infrastructure, and form real partnerships. From a geopolitical perspective, Ghana's new approach could be a game changer. Today, China dominates the global processing of critical minerals, but Ghana's move to process its own materials and not just export them could challenge that dominance. This aligns perfectly with the interests of countries like the United States and members of the European Union, who are looking to reduce dependence on Chinese supply chains. Ghana could position itself as a neutral, independent supplier, playing global powers off one another to secure the best possible deals. Of course, the road ahead is full of challenges. Building an advanced industrial base requires massive financial investment, access to cutting-edge technology, and a skilled workforce, all of which are in short supply at the moment. Ghana will need to form smart partnerships that don't just swap one dependency for another. The dream is to build a future where Ghana is self-reliant, industrially capable, and economically independent. There's also the question of governance. State-run institutions like the Ghana Gold Board can be transformative, but only if managed transparently and free from corruption. The new wealth generated must be used wisely to build hospitals, schools, infrastructure, and to uplift the everyday lives of Ghanaians. If mismanaged, it risks becoming just another missed opportunity. International pressure will also be intense. Corporations and governments that benefited from the old system may resist change through trade deals, political influence, or disinformation. Ghana will need strong leadership and unified public support to stay the course. Still, this is a powerful moment. For the first time in a long time, the conversation is no longer just about what's coming out of the ground, but about how that wealth can build something lasting above it. Ghana's journey is more than a national story. It's a test case for the future of Africa's economic freedom. If successful, it could reshape how the world engages with the continent, no longer as a source of raw material, but as a full partner in progress. So what do you think? Can Ghana truly pull this off? Will this new model of resource nationalism spread across Africa? Let us know your thoughts in the comments. And if you found this story as inspiring as we did, don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit the notification bell so you never miss our deep dives into the forces shaping our world.